No, I know I've done 6 years of racing and I've sailed the boat for 7 years, and maybe we sail for 100 days a year. So yeah, quite a lot of miles. I've never added it up. For me, it was the one design nature. When you have 40 boats identical, and the rules in France are very tight, so to cheat you'd have to be very creative. Everyone's the same, and also I like that the boats are really tough. They're simple, and you can have the spinnaker up in 35 knots of breeze. You can nosedive and broach, and it's very hard to break the mast. I mean, some are broken, but you have to try pretty hard. So you just feel really confident. You can be out in any conditions, and you can sail harder than you can in any other boat I've sailed, I think. Normally it's you that gives up before the boat. I think the starting point is always to learn the boat handling. It is quite simple, especially with the new asymmetric furling system, and the cockpit's small, so everything's close. Once you have confidence manoeuvring the boat, then you can learn the little tweaks for speed. But the water ballast is significant if you haven't sailed the boats before. It's a fairly simple system. You have just one tank either side, and it's easy to fill it and change it. Using it an upwind, you just use it above 8 knots, and that's simple. But when you're reaching different conditions and different sea states, there's a fine line when it's exactly right. And we've got to stop it now. We used to train in France in Lorient with a group of 7 or 8 Figaros, and we'd just go out and sail in a straight line for hours at a time, and with a coach, video, look at stuff. And I think that's the way you really build the one design speed. But yeah, there's not much else about the boat. Having 2 rudders is good. You get more control when you're overpowered, and there's some tuning with the angles, but it's not that complicated. Yeah, you have to crawl around to adjust them, but once you know the principles, then it's quite easy. You can see the rudders at the back, and you can. But it makes a big difference. If you get the angles right, then you have much more control, and you can sail higher and faster. I haven't sailed that many twin rudder boats, but I think it's important from every boat I have. It's important that you have the angle right for the sailing conditions. If you're sailing with a big rudder angle, then you must point them towards each other, so the windward rudder is less drag. And that's basically the principle. After that, it's simple.
Okay. How can you tell when you're right?
You look at the windward rudder, and if it's straight in the water, then it's probably good. Okay. Sometimes you can feel the difference. In this boat, if you change it right, suddenly it's a good boat, and if you've got it wrong, the boat next to you is going and you're stopped. So.
All right.
Yeah, you need to make sure you've got nothing's coming up for the next minute, but it's you learn to do it quickly, and then it's okay. Yeah. With the Artemis Academy, I was one of the first people through it, so I spent time in the years afterwards teaching new people who are good sailors in dinghies and other yachts to sail single-handed, and I like the process. But now I'm racing GP42 in England, and I manage the program, so it's not so much single-handed sailing anymore. They want to try and keep them similar and do some racing together, so I think it'll be. And in England, there's some boats that will race at IRC, which isn't perfect for them, but they're still a good boat for going offshore.
So Jan, you are disrupting the.
With the
setup and lithium batteries and light anchors, 3D eye sails.
I think the sails look really nice. Yeah. It's hard to, without another boat, it's hard to be sure, but they look good and they feel good. And I think the asymmetric is at certain angles. The code 0 will be really nice. I think the boat will respond well to that. And I think there's times when you want the symmetric spinnaker if you're on a square run, but the rest of the time I think the asymmetric will be good. In some conditions it'll be much faster. It'll be interesting to see. So.